What's going on, everybody? It's February 26, 2024, day log episode of our NQ live stream review. So, leaving off of yesterday, the weekly forecast and what we were looking at, I was anticipating today to be a lower probability type of day, range bound, consolidation, choppy. How did I know that? Or at least anticipate it? We moved off of Thursday and Friday of last week, which were very large range days. Large range expansion days can lead to small range consolidational days after. So it was kind of tipping its hat to me, especially when you combined Monday with no news event drivers. That just is a huge formula, a huge red flag to me to go, okay, I've seen this plenty of times happen, and it's a signal for me to do nothing, and it's a signal for all of you to do nothing. And some of you may have looked at today and, either regretted being inside of the market or regretted staying out of it, whatever it may be. Personally, the way I teach and the way I mentor is to stay out of a condition like today. If you balance the probabilities over a course of a year and try to trade inside of these conditions over a course of a year, being profitable, I would elect to believe you're not going to come out profitable trading these type of days. It may happen here or there, and it may lead you to believe that you can. Personally, my experience, I've seen both sides. I would elect to trade none of it. So hope it makes sense today why I was electing not to trade it. Let's go down to the daily. Again, I still, to combine all of that as well, is the narrative is extremely difficult to figure out. I don't know what price really wants to do. I'm going to lean on the idea that price is going to want to gravitate higher because nothing is broken to tell me that. In terms of broken bullish PD raise or broken to the downside, nothing's confirmed to me that we'd want lower prices. The only thing that would be supporting that is price taking out the buy side liquidity here, not closing above it, a little indecisive. But we still have this bullish fair value gap that we're resting inside of. So this is our last point of interest. If price disrespects this, meaning we trade through it, then I have to look for lower prices. And how do I know that up here? How do I know if it's going to or not? I honestly, truthfully, I don't know. And that's why I either have to wait for more information or wait for the confirmation of higher prices. I'm not going to try to keep calling higher prices right now until I get a good confirmation of that. And if you are uncertain in a time like this in terms of narrative, that's when you'll lean on intermarket relationships. That's when you'll lean on SMT, the other indexes, to give you some type of clarity, to give you some type of roadmap. And if those don't even agree and you can't get anything out of them, then just sit still. Don't do anything. You don't have to push price. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't mean you're stupid because you don't know what price is doing. It just means that you don't know. It means to sit still. That's a good thing. Once you reach that maturity point, that's when you know you're developing. Looking at the 4 hour, I still think this is pretty unclear. I've elected to believe on Sunday, yesterday, that price is probably going to consolidate, maybe the first 2 days of the week, maybe 3, because we've had a very large expansion range type of profile the last, days of last week. After taking out a major buy side liquidity pool and dropping beneath it, that would elect to me probably sit still. I don't really know what price really wants to do in here. And I can't emphasize that enough, me repeating that, because it's so important. If you think you know what price is doing, you keep, trying to be inside of price, well, you're probably not going to end up on the profitable side. And if you do, congratulations. I'm not saying, that's a bad thing, but to me, through experience, I don't do well when I can't figure out what price is trying to do. So the only thing I can really annotate on 4 hour is this inversion here that we're resting inside of. We retraced up higher today. I would like to believe that this is our bearish order block there. Price is respecting. So I don't know. Do we want to expand through that, or do we utilize that daily for value gap to expand higher? So there's a couple options on the board. I don't have a clear decision, and I probably won't have one until probably after tomorrow or maybe even Wednesday, after those days close and I get a little bit more information. As far as just the 1 hour structure price, we turned up into this reclaimed SIBI here. So that's resting inside of what? Our premium. So from this dealing range high down to our low, reached up into a premium. So during the session, we reached up into that. I believe I had this on my chart during the live session. I forget at times what I had on the chart, but I believe I mentioned this in passing. if you go down to the 15-minute, yeah, I mean, look at the range today. I mean, I don't feel any type of way but excitement and happiness and being proud of myself for being sidelines today. I didn't take a single trade today. It's fantastic. And it's not like this is unpredictable. It's not like it's mysterious. Like, how do I know this is going to happen? Like, this is something that was forecasted from yesterday. It's fairly easy for me to see something like this unfold. And that's, man, if somebody told me how to see that before it happened, it would save me so much time and energy. I mean, you're never going to get very far in these conditions. I mean, some people may love them. I personally would stay far away from them. That would be my advice. As far as what we were looking at in the morning, I was annotating both sides of the board. We had buy side liquidity here and sell side beneath us. And I was annotating how, even with all the conditions that I listed, Monday, large range expansion, no news event drivers, and then you couple in no really clear narrative, and then you look at the 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, it was just unclear. I could not tell you what price really wanted to do. And the open, we took out buy side liquidity here. This was the open, that up closed, or that wick. We took out buy side, we dropped lower and took out sell side. So what is that indicating to me? That's indicating a seek and destroy profile. And there's some people in here that, were trading the 1 minute, and I could see the 1 minute time frame and where price was trading to. And hopefully the tape reading was able to help you guys see, like, okay, this is what I do on a day where I'm not supposed to be trading, but at least I'm marking up. I'm trying to, just forecast where price is going, but there's no significance behind it. I'm not putting anything behind the idea if it is right or wrong. And I'm just simply neutral and seeing how price reacts. And it's just good for your pattern recognition. It's good for your mindset when you're able to sit on the sidelines and not feel forced to be inside of it. It's a very liberating feeling. If you haven't done that before, I mean, do it a few times. Do it, once a week, because it's going to set you free from the idea that you have to take a trade. It's going to set you free from the fear that you feel in every single session that you're missing something, that, I have to take a trade, or that, I'm going to be a failure. It liberates you. I mean, hopefully it was a very good example of it. It's really what I wanted to, showcase. And overall, if you look at it, I mean, do you feel something about this? I mean, I don't. So practice it. That's all I'm really getting at. If you look at the 5-minute time frame, and this is a complete mess. I mean, that's the only word I can find for it. It's a mess, and it's not something that is, caught me by surprise. And that's the best thing. If this caught me by surprise and I was blindsided, with the right hook that I didn't see this coming, then yeah, I would be kind of upset. But it's very cool that I'm able to see this and able to forecast it a day before it even unfolds. I mean, even for the weekend, you could do that. Even from Friday's close, you could be looking at Monday and be like, yeah, no, this is, probably going to happen. I mean, I'm only going to annotate probably the AM session. I mean, I know I've gone over it in the live session, but if you look at the open here, we dropped lower after taking out buy side liquidity. So this is right from the open. We're taking out buy side liquidity. If you zoom in here on the 1 minute, I'm not saying any of this is, valid or something I would be taking, but again, this is just tape reading. We drop lower, close underneath this candle, which becomes our bearish order block. What it's priced to do? Immediately opens, trades right up into the old new week opening gap, mean threshold of that bearish order block. And we stab into it a few more times. We close beneath this area of inefficiency, which becomes a inversion. So look at the bodies and way it's respecting it with the bearish order block. Price trades off lower to attack sell side, which is here. Again, sell side residing underneath this low. And to me, this is a very key signature to me, is if I'm seeing both sides of the board being wiped, then it's a seek and destroy profile. And I'm probably going to be in a very tight consolidational lethargic range. So we were taking out buy side, we drop lower, taking out sell side. So both sides are neutralized. And then we built up some sell side in here. And to me, even though I saw a lot of people that ended up taking this, I felt no emotions. I felt nothing about it, no regret. Again, everybody's trading style is different, so you can't compare yourself to anybody else. It's what you personally find, and I know that's difficult for a newer student because you don't know what is right. You don't know what you should be doing, and all you have to do is take everything that you learn from somebody, a mentor, and then kind of move away from them and start tuning into your own self. And the more you trust yourself, the more you trust your own models and what you look for, the less fear or regret you're going to feel when, somebody else takes a trade. Like, even though I annotated this in real time and I could see, how price could react off of this, in hindsight, it means nothing to me. So I was also annotating the other side, which I don't want to forget, is these civvies in here, which very well on the other flip side, on another day, this could have easily sold off, right? So in here, I was looking at, well, we could dig up into these civvies and sell off into the sell side. So why would I be trying to go long in this condition? To me, if this ended up being a loss, if I took a loss in here, I would be so upset at myself. I'd be like, why the hell am I trading? There's no reason to be doing anything in here. And I'm sure some of you did. And maybe if you made profits, I mean, you're probably happy, but to me, that'd be a net negative personally. If I took a trade in here and this one, I'd be like, well, why did I even trade? Yes, those profits, but profits doesn't always result in a good job pat in the back, at least the way I view it. But in here, we were taking out sell side. We displace higher, shift to market structure there. We close above, right? Drop down into the fair value gap, and then we expand higher into the buy side. We drop down again into this bullish order block there. We expand higher, and then we just ride this old new week opening gap as resistance. And in here, I mean, imagine trying to be long. Imagine trying to do anything in here. I mean, this would have been extremely difficult. You could have taken many losses inside of this condition. This is what I call Medusa. Basically, or rattlesnake, is there's a lot of opportunities that look okay in the moment, and then it starts consolidating, not moving, and it's trying to get you to get into price when it's doing actually nothing. It's illusion, right? It's in here you could see this BISI at one point, a fair value gap, price drops beneath it, comes back up. You could have annotated this SIBI becomes inversion. You're trying to go long in here. I mean, it would have been a complete mess. I don't see how anything could have been profitable today. I mean, again, that's my personal opinion. We drop off lower, return back into this discount fair value gap, displace higher, drop down into it again. I mean, the delivery is awful. Only thing I can see is where we're seeking. I mean, we're seeking liquidity. This all got built up, which is buy side. Above this old high was buy side. And honestly, I was looking for these relative equal highs back here, which are resting at 1865 basically. I wanted to see those ran and didn't even get to that. So even with these conditions, my precision is going to be off. My analysis is going to be off. I mean, in here, you could have kept pushing for longs, never got to it. Even in backtesting I mentioned today, I mean, look at the losses, instead of the wins, look at the losses that you could potentially take. In here, somebody could see buy side taken, SIBI formed. They try to go short in here. You're stopped out. Okay, bias to switch. Maybe I'm going to go long now. Oh, stopped out again. Oh, it's dropping off lower. Maybe I go short. Stopped out again. I mean, how many times did you get stopped out? I mean, there's probably one moment in this entire day where you could have gotten anything. And that's if you're lucky. So I don't play luck. I don't play the gambling game. I want to be professional about this. And that's what I'm trying to annotate to all of you, is to be professional about this. Pick your shots carefully, know the conditions. It's not a mysterious thing where you don't know when price is going to be like this. It's very easy to predict a day like this. So if you know that, have the discipline, have the self-discipline to stay out of it. So again, this is the things that I wish somebody would tell me. These type of things. If somebody told me these things and forecasted it, gave me their advice, lent me their experience, man, I wouldn't have made so many mistakes. I wouldn't have blown so many accounts, blown so much money trying to do all these stupid things. Like, you asked me how I learned it, is through a lot of losses and pain. And eventually, my pain threshold, I had enough. And I had to figure out how to stop doing this. So hopefully, again, if you made mistakes today and you were inside of this condition, don't feel bad about yourself. Go in, encourage yourself. Hopefully this video helped you in understanding what you should stay out of. If you did well in the market, that's great, but also try to take it with a grain of salt. Try to see the perspective that I'm giving you and try to understand, like, okay, well, maybe he is saying something. Maybe I got lucky today. Maybe on another day and over a course of time, I wouldn't be so lucky. I wouldn't be profitable in these conditions, because I think that's really what these conditions can kind of fold you into thinking, is if you're profitable, that I could do it again and again and again. And the reality is it's probably not going to happen. And the only way you're going to learn that is either through somebody telling you that or through experience, which is pain. So the only thing I want to cover last minute here, I don't want to make today's video too long, is dollar index. It's still unclear to me, but we had a lower closure today. If this thing continues to drop off lower and we get a actually significant move lower, which when I look at the lower time frames, it's lending some decent price action to me to believe that we're going to want to drop lower in here. Gun in my head, I would believe that dollar index would want to drop lower. What would that mean to me is futures, index futures, ES, NQ, YM, all of these would want to at least continue higher. So it may be a decent confluence to us tomorrow. So that's going to be it for today's video. I'll be live tomorrow, 15 minutes before the open. Until then, good luck and good trading, everybody. Be safe.